Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks very much for joining us bright and early on this chilly 4 degree, only four of them, Thursday morning in early February in Central PA. My name is Alexis Gossick. I'm with the Technology Council of Central PA. Appreciate you carving time out to join us this morning for our today's tech session with coLAB. And Steve Herr has graciously joined us this morning to facilitate this morning's session. So thank you to Steve. Thank you to everyone for joining us. And just to note that we are recording this session so that you'll be able to refer back to it later. I'll also make sure to get a follow-up email out after today's session with a link to the recording and Steve's direct contact information. So if you're going through today and things are kind of bubbling or brewing or percolating and the question isn't fully formed before the end of today's session, have no fear. You will have Steve's direct contact information in your inbox as quickly as possible following today's session so you can get in touch with him directly if you need to or want to after today's session. Those are all the words that I have for you this morning. I'm going to go ahead and be quiet and turn it over to Steve. Steve, welcome and take us away.
Thanks a lot, Alexis. Hi, everybody. I appreciate that. And thanks so much for showing up so early and on a cold, chilly morning. I'm delighted to be here. I'm excited to tell you a little bit about some of the things we're doing. The agenda for the day, just to kind of let you know what we're going to try to do is just spend a very brief time sharing a little bit about me so you know who you're talking to, but I'm really going to transition more to talk about our team. I'm excited to talk about our new company and the technology platform that we've built, where we're at in that process. Some of the things that we've done to ensure that it's going out and going to do some really good things. I'm excited to share that with you. And I'd also like to turn it into a conversation. So we'd like to have this become an opportunity for you all to engage and maybe ask questions, bring up ideas, and spend more time with more of a conversation than just simply listening to me talk. My background for the last 20 years, my role, I'm the CEO at our company called coLAB. And we, for the last 20 years, at least, I've been in a software development technology space with a couple key common denominators associated with that. It's always been in mission-driven environments, whether that was for profit or nonprofit. And those mission-driven environments, those systems were and or continue to be, in some instances, in dire need of enhancements, improvements, because the folks that were doing and are doing the work in those environments are suffering from daily pain points that can oftentimes be alleviated with the right type of technology. Examples would be early childhood development or behavioral health, mental health, care coordination. These types of systems often suffer in very similar ways to the pain points that I'm going to talk to you today about. Um, as a result of being in this space, I've gotten to know a lot of like-minded folks, and then I have the really good fortune of being with an amazing team at coLAB. You know that saying where they go, if you are the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong room. I'm definitely in the right room. I'm surrounded by people that are better at things than me, smarter at things than me, and we've been together in some shape, way, form over the last 10 years. So we've built multiple things together, which is one of the reasons why we've been able to pull together what we've done in such a short period of time, and I'll tell you about that in a second. We have subject matter experts, engineers that are some of the best programmers I've ever worked with. Some of the subject matter experts for our product are the best I've ever seen. And we have amazing operations folks. And so we've been able to get the business going, get the technology built. We have the team, we have the product, and now we're in beta and we're looking at the traction as the next part of the equation. We found ourselves 9 months ago sitting around literally a round table, having a brainstorming conversation about what our next adventure should or could be. And we started thinking about our strengths, what we've learned over the years with other software platforms. Some were large enterprise platforms, some were smaller and designed for kind of a niche area in a certain system. And we decided we would start with building something. What if we could build a cloud-based AI assisted, not all AI informed um, platform that helped organizations assess their organizational health, look at their sustainability, their impact, their strategic planning process. There's a tremendous amount of pain points associated with that. And we have methodologies and proprietary tools that from other companies that we were able to bring forward into this tech stack. And I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a second. First, I'd like to have each of you, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and use the chat. We decided first, our first mission was to go into the nonprofit, or as more people are starting to call it today, social impact space. Um, However, what we've built is designed to ultimately work with any type of organization. And we can talk more about that as well. But our current mission is to go in and address the pain points that nonprofit social impact leaders deal with on a daily basis. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Could you tell me with one word or two words, when you think of a nonprofit, if you wouldn't mind putting it in chat, how would you use one word to represent what a nonprofit is to you in your mind? Perhaps you are maybe someone who loves to hike, and one of your favorite trails is managed and kept up by a nonprofit. Perhaps there's a sanctuary where you like to go and find peace, safety, refuge. Maybe that's a nonprofit. Maybe someone in your family or you have received some amazing medical treatment from a nonprofit medical system. The list goes on. There are over 2 million, well, almost 2 million nonprofits in the United States alone. The problem is 97% of those nonprofits have operating budgets of less than $5 million. And when you see that, that massive amount of that industry suffer with a variety of pain points on a daily basis. And I just want to, since I'm managing this myself, I just want to look into chat really quickly and share with you impact, community impact, supportive, mission. Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. So that's very helpful. And that's very much aligned with some of the pain points I'm about to share as well. When you look at, let's tell a little bit of a story about, leadership in a nonprofit sector is a tough place to be, especially if your operating budget is not. I've worked in nonprofits that were very small, and I've also been in nonprofits that had operating budgets of $30 million. And it's night and day, the pain points that those organizations experience on a daily basis. So, the thing about nonprofit leadership, though, if you've ever met with any of them or talked with any of them, they are passionate and they are smart and they want to have an impact. You know this, do you ever hear the saying, we were sharing this the other day, I heard this, knowledge is knowing that a tomato is fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put it in fruit salad. And when you look at a nonprofit leader, that leader has knowledge and knows that a strategic plan, for instance, is essential. But she or he also has the wisdom to know that you can't just slap that together by yourself and hope that you'll get buy-in from your board, your community, your stakeholders in general. And to do so typically requires hiring, especially, remember, keep in mind these budgets of 5 million or less, you are typically strapped with human resources. You often have legacy software platforms that have been around in the organization for a long time. And they're not really as agile as they should be. We all know, for those of us that are in this tech space, technology is changing at such a rapid clip. Having a legacy system is quite a burden. Most nonprofits do not have very healthy or very robust IT infrastructures. You think about donor management and outcomes metrics that you're always feeling the pressure to provide. You might have board members who are well-intended. However, they have their own opinions, their own personalities. That becomes a distraction often if there's not alignment and consensus. And so when you think about all of these things that relate to organizational health, and then you tie in, for instance, a lot of nonprofit have disparate databases. So you're managing multiple databases. And if you have a legacy platform that's managing some of those databases, there's a really good chance that that data is in a bit of a bird's nest. So I've worked with nonprofits in the past where their data, they do a great job of collecting data, but it's not necessarily validated when they grab it. And when they try to use it, it's not of great value. And that is a real unfortunate pain point as well. So we've set out to try to help fix a lot of that. And um, over the course of the last 9 months, we decided, okay, let's go ahead and what if we could build something that offered proven tools and methodologies to leadership and all of their stakeholders that gave them an opportunity to assess the health of their organization. So the day in the life of a nonprofit leader, they want to do well. They want to do right. But with all of those pain points, they're at risk for not being able to identify areas of strength and areas where improvements could be made to not only improve impact, which are some of the words that were put in the chat, but sustain impact, sustainable impact. In order to do implement, for those of you, and Alexis was sharing with me, there's a lot of leaders here today, folks that are leaders within their own organizations. Whether you're a leader or not, you've probably been involved at some point in your career of putting together a strategic plan. That is not fun. So typically, it's very time intensive. If you bring a consultant in, now it's contingent on how good the consultant is. It's also very expensive. So in the nonprofit sector, bringing in a consultant for strategic planning typically costs anywhere between $20,000 and $50,000. And it usually takes anywhere between 120 hours and 150 hours of time, indirect cost to that organization. It's one way, shape, form, or another. So our platform has taken tried, true, proven tools, methodologies around assessing organizational health, looking at sustaining impact, reaching out to the community, getting stakeholder buy-in, reaching out to your board members, getting buy-in, taking all of this data. And we thought, what if we could use AI could we model AI to accent or enhance, assist these proven methodologies so that there's a translation between people, copious amounts of data, and strategy. Those three things. Could we set out and accomplish that? Because if we can do that, we can address a tremendous amount of these pain points. It has to be easy to implement. It can't be reliant on some type of old tech stack. It has to have a command center and a hub that's easy to navigate. It has to allow multi-respondent data collection. So think about nonprofits. Somebody put in supportive and community impact. Your community typically is a major player in the data collection process of a best practice strategic plan, for instance. It is very difficult to do that, to go out, interview your community members. You may have volunteers. Volunteer management in and of itself is a pain point. But when you think about all the data that should go into the assessment of organizational health, you want other people in your organization. It's like you yourself, you don't diagnose your own health problems, do you? You might read Google, you might Google something and, your anxiety shoots up through the roof because now you think you're probably going to be dead in about 3 days. But if you do something like that for your organization, you're doing a disservice to your organization. And so often what you'll find if a leader tries to slap together a strategic plan and she takes that to the board, it's not going to go well because you didn't get alignment. If you think about implementation science and you add that into the design of our technology, it requires you must have your champions to have something properly implemented. You must have executive sponsorship, and it must rely on data. That data helps create a common voice across the organization. So our platform uses a combination of quantitative and qualitative data. And our AI model synthesizes that into a variety of reports and metrics so that ultimately an organization has data-informed decision making at their disposal. So if whether you're an organization that ultimately wants to create strategy that is for a year or 2 years or 3 years, back in the day, I've been with some organizations where we've actually tried to sit down and do 5-year strategic plans. And that was mind-numbingly painful. And I think for most of you, if you've ever done that, in about a year, it's going to change a lot. In 2 years, for sure. If you go beyond 3 years, you're just kind of guessing. And so when you think about the nonprofit sector, you have all these things that change constantly. So what we wanted to do is give them a platform that has metrics that they can utilize on a routine basis as part of their operations. What if we could make nonprofit leadership easier instead of heavier? What if we could make data collection simple instead of complex? What if we could use our AI model that we're continuing to train and learn to take all of this data and put it into something beautiful that leadership could take to the board, could show to the community, could put on their website? And so a combination of giving that executive director, for instance, a series of tools around sustainable impact, community data collection, strategic planning, and of equal importance, key metrics, that gives them power at their disposal that they can utilize in a variety of ways to help keep everyone informed, keep alliance, consensus, and it's dynamic. The day of a static strategic plan is gone. We all know we must have dynamic strategic plans that are based on metrics, that are based on change, and that you can measure change over time. And that's what we've set out to build. So I'd like to just pause for a second and see if there are any questions, because we do have a few minutes, and I told Alexis I definitely wanted to see if we could engage a little bit. If you have any questions about this in general, please put them in the chat or feel free to speak up. There's absolutely no right or wrong way. I'll be monitoring chat here if there are any questions. Let's see. Do you have a chance to give a little demo of the actual product? Uh, we don't have that time today because it's such a short meeting, but I would be more than happy. Our team would love to give you a demo of the actual product. That would we'd be delighted. Thank you for that question. What is the effort required to stand up and maintain the platform? Would that, Samuel, is that from the end user's perspective, perhaps? I'm sorry, I can't.
I can talk to.
Yeah.
It's from well, I mean, from management's perspective, end user, I mean, across the board.
Yeah. Yeah. So we are, I wasn't sure if you were talking about our infrastructure is in the Microsoft Azure environment. Um, the effort is, it's very simple. For instance, the champion, if you think about implementation models, the champion is able to administer the entire process from like a command center, or we call it a hub. And she or he can bring in supportive staff as needed. Um, and it's kind of nice because if you were the executive, and let's say I'm on your board, and you want me to fill out, let's say, a standardized one of the tools that we have in there, let's say about a sustainability assessment, you can just send it right to me through this platform. I get an invitation. I fill it out. I don't even have to log in. I fill it out, submit it, comes right back to you, and you monitor my progress. So we have lots of notifications just to make it easy. So you know what's happening. We don't want you to have to go out of your way to contact me. Steve, did you do it? Steve, are you going to do it? Steve, no, you can see if I did it, or you can see if I didn't start. So there's lots of things in there like that that make it really easy to implement. We're getting a lot of positive feedback from our beta pilot process right now. Did that answer your question, Samuel? Okay? Getting started with the sustainability study is sometimes tough with how to answer the questions with people engaged at different levels. So how does this platform, this is a great question. How does this platform adjust as we peel back the onion and more people provide input? Awesome. Multi-respondent. So first of all, we have a proprietary tool that some of our colleagues in another company that are now our subject matter experts have been using for years. And it's been evolving over time because it's been used in the real world. So one of the things we never do is just build something because we think, oh, we got smart people, we got good ideas. So combination of a standardized tool, which really hits like 10 different areas of that organization's health. Where are they thriving? Where's there room for improvement? Now, when you send that out to your key stakeholders that are more champions, not necessarily the community members, but your leadership, your board members, those that govern, that you want their input, we can take all that and aggregate that information. So there's something, you get a lot of buy-in, you get a lot of consensus there from those key folks. And then our model begins to pull that data together. Now, you're always in control. You can change the outputs, you can edit them, but our AI model has been trained to really give you a big jump on that. Then you add the community data collection. Let's say you want to send a survey out to, I don't know, 20, 30 people in your community, donors, funders, volunteers, important folks that have been part of your community for a while. We take that data, add it, same thing. And we keep building off of that and building off of that. As you peel the onion back, you keep building off of that. And it gets a tremendous amount of buy-in along the way. Great question, Delane. Other questions? We want to make sure AI is only assisting, because I think for most, if you look at the research, AI is really trusted in academia and healthcare, but we don't really want to put all of AI is not something that you can just throw a bunch of random things in there and hope to get a strategic plan out that represents your organization. It certainly doesn't work that way. Thanks for sharing details on your product. I have to drop the prep. Okay, you got it, Amanda. Other questions?
Nope.
We have 2 or 3 minutes. Alexis is going to give us the hook here. Other questions? Getting started. Good question. Can you talk about how the platform combines tech and the human element? Um, sure. Yeah. So we're trying to empower that human element, give a common voice across the organization, utilizing a combination of both quantitative and qualitative data. And we're trying to give that leader not only a really efficient technology, but also like an emotional um, de-escalation. Empower them, but also empowering your stakeholders. So you're using technology to gain all these efficiencies with data collection, and the data helps drive that data informed decision making process, which so many sustainability assessments of an organization are lacking, and so many strategic plans are lacking. They're lacking those metrics. And so we've taken technology, broken down all those barriers, and made it simple to collect it. If you hire someone to do it, it's very expensive and very time consuming. Hope that answers the question. It's a great question. Other questions? Uh, Thanks. Curious how you're thinking about growth right now. Are there opportunities for partners or folks to get involved as this evolves? Well, that's an amazing question. So yeah, we're an early stage tech platform company, right? We've been around. We incorporated May 5th. This is a great question. We are lining up. We're in a fundraising, as most tech companies are in early stage. We are in a fundraising mode. So if you know of anyone, we're looking for like-minded folks. We've been lining up. We're starting to line up like-minded people with values that are aligned with our thinking. And we are in a fundraising mode right now. And we'd be happy to, if you know of anyone and you want to introduce them to me, or you want to talk more about it offline, feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to have the conversation with you, share with you more details about what we're doing, what our marketing strategy is, what our go-to-market plan is. So that's part of our growth strategy. Uh, we are located here in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So we're close to many of you. We have some great teammates in Jersey and all over the place, but most of us are located here locally in Lancaster County. And 1 more minute. We were just starting. Excited to see the difference from 12 years ago, and it was very successful. Thanks, coLAB. We are starting the process with you. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Delane, thank you. That's cool. Um, Anything else before you got, these are fantastic questions. I'm sorry we don't have more time. I just want to thank TCCP, Alexis. This is really nice of you to host this. It's Thanks for giving us the opportunity to share the excitement about some of the new things we're doing. And again, to Alexis's point, if anybody would like to reach out and have a conversation about anything related to this, not just the fundraising, anything, please reach out. I'd love to introduce you to our team and learn more about what you do as well.
Thank you so much, Steve. We are at the top of the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up. I do just want to throw in a little testimonial endorsement. TCCP has and is again utilizing coLAB, partnering with coLAB for our strategic planning at an organizational level. It's never a process, right? It's not high on the list of, I can't wait to strategic plan. It's just not there. And maybe it is for some folks, but it's not for me.
Right.
But when it's time, I know that my partners at coLAB are going to get us through it, right? In one piece without killing each other, without hating each other. And so just kudos to the coLAB team. I sing the praises as I can. So if you're looking to have a real conversation about how you can do these things and positively impact your organization, just testimonial for coLAB, because they make it as painless as possible. And I am eternally thankful on behalf of the Tech Council. So
Thanks.
not a paid endorsement, but a lived experience. Thanks.
Thank you, Alexis. That's very kind.
Absolutely. I will go ahead and get the recording of this session queued up, and then I'll get the follow-up email out to everybody so that you can reach out to Steve and the coLAB team. Thank you, Steve, for joining us this morning.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
to all of you for carving time out this morning, and I hope that everybody has a wonderful rest of the day today. Take care,
Thanks a lot.
everybody.
Bye,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone. See ya.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.